Welcome to Home Business. This is the Mr. Sam Lopez podcast. I can't call it Home Business because somebody has the Home Business podcast. So I'm going to use the subtitle Mr. Sam Lopez podcast. So I just have a minute and a half about that, just waiting for people to get on. And I'm excited because we're going to go over my home business podcast, Beginner's Guide to Home Business, with Mr. Sam Lopez, yours truly. So if this is your first time, welcome to MrSamLopez.com. This is the live stream. I promised every Wednesdays. And every Wednesday I'm going to be doing a live stream. Probably not around this time. It could be various times. But if you're on my email list, you will receive an email, right? That will give you all the details. And I have a bonus for you today already. The first time for you to join me, I have a bonus for you already. So I'm going to reintroduce myself in about a minute, but I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm really live, and this is really live. So if you hear my daughter, I'm home in my home studio. So if you hear my daughter come down, she'll probably want to get on the camera or whatever. We'll work it out, but we'll make sure that there's the minimal distractions, right? We don't want to be all over the place during this time. All right, 30 more seconds, waiting for some people to come on. Starts at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, at 7 a.m. Pacific. And of course, my voice is going away, and I don't know why. But I'm here, and we're going to rock and roll. We're going to get through this. And it's a beginner's guide to home business, but please don't let the title fool you when it comes to beginners. This is good for pros and everybody in between. Beginners, newbies, pros, and everybody in between. All right, so we're almost done with the timer, and let's go. So I'm gonna hit the intro to Mr. Sam Lopez podcast, and then the next screen you'll see is what we're gonna be going over today. All right, let's go. All right, everybody look at this. This is the Home Business Podcast, a beginner's guide to home business. And what I mean about home business is totally different than working from home or online jobs. A home business is a business. It's something that you run, you feel passionate about. And before I get ahead of myself, because we're going to go over those things, the passion, what passion you have and all that. We're going to go over that. But a home business is just that. You're operating a business from your home, not operating an online business that you have to work for somebody else. This home business model that I'm going to it's going to overview, is really from home, working a business from home. And of course, you have a life, right? You're going to have time for family, time for friends, and all that good stuff. But home business is just that. You're operating a business from home. I always say that because people confuse, online jobs, work from home jobs, that you still have to clock in and clock out. So in other words, you might get hired for a home business job, an online job. You might get hired and they're going to give you start times or windows and say you have to work from 10 to 5. So you have to be home working from 10 to 5 or you will not get paid. A home business is different. A home business, you operate, you have a schedule, you should be disciplined because your discipline will take you to where the money is, right? But also not only that you're disciplined, but you're able to function in your home. Maybe it's an office. I operate from my home studio for 90% of the time. But I also work upstairs in my other computer where everybody's around me. You know what I mean? So I could get to see my daughter grow up, hang out with my mother-in-law. And my wife went back to work because she wanted her own, she money, I guess it was. And in the home business model, she doesn't really understand what I do, believe it or not. But home business is just that, a discipline to work your business from home. Online job is you're still working for somebody else. They give you hours. If you don't work in those hours, you won't get paid. So that's one of the differences right away that we see on this type of model of home business. All right. So let's go. Let's go through this. And it won't take too long, but it's a lot of information. So I suggest that you get a notepad out on your phone or pen and paper and take notes. And if you stick with me to the end, I'm going to share some bonuses that you will get for free. FREE. And when Mr. San Lopez says free, that means no credit card necessary. It's not needed. Anytime you hear me saying something is free or maybe a free trial, I guarantee you that I will not ask for a credit card, because I'm not one of those get free persons that you get this free, get that free. The most I ask for is an email, a name, email, and a phone number. That's the most I ask for any of my free offers. But when you hear me say free, don't worry about ripping out credit cards, bank accounts, PayPal, or nothing like that. I don't need any of the information if I'm giving you something for free. It's so funny how so many marketers out there, they say, oh, we'll give you a free this, that, and the third. And then when you go to the page that has the free offer, you have to put in your bank information, PayPal information, or credit card information. It's just amazing to me. And that's not the way I operate. Right? So don't worry about that part. I got that covered. So how do you start? Everybody wants to know, how do you start? You know, this girl is pointing at the sign, like, how do you start? And this is me, not the girl in the picture. This was one of my questions when I was, dabbling and asking myself, how am I going to get into this? Where am I going to start? What's going on? How am I going to be able to get this all functioning and working? Because I want to do stuff too, I want to be, successful online just like anybody else, right? I want to do, make money from home, make money online, make money from home, and all that good stuff. I don't want to, not be able to do what this home business promises to do, and it's to support your family, to live a lifestyle beyond the 9 to 5 and all that good stuff, right? So I want to do that. And if you're like anything like me, you want to do that too, right? Why wouldn't you want to do that? Why wouldn't you want to invest in yourself, which is the greatest investment that you could possibly have, right? The greatest investment that you can, drive your family to do or to get things that normally a 9 to 5 will keep you restricted or keep you under their cap. There's no cap in a home business. So let me get back to the screen. How do you start? Now we're going to be going over, these are my goals for today. Defining your passion is very important. To define your passion, you don't want to do something on a business level if you're not passionate about it and you kind of like hate it. That's like a 9 to 5 job. A lot of my jobs I hate it, and people used to say, well, if you hate your job, get another one or do something else. And I used to take that advice. The second thing is identifying your market. Who are your target? Who's your target? Who are your customers? After you know your passion, you need to know other people with that same type of passion, but they don't want to do legwork. They have problems, and you have the answer. You have the solution. Launching a product. On the email, I put launching a podcast, because if when you launch a product, this is my product, a podcast, online marketing, affiliate marketing, home-based business. That is my product. But either launching a product, and I call it launching a podcast, and I'll explain that later. Promoting your product, because you have to know how to promote your product. If you're going to launch a product, you got to know how to promote your product. If you don't know how to promote yourself, your product, your podcast, your online webinars, if you don't know how to promote it, then you're going to have 0 days, 0 weeks, 0 months, and unfortunately 0 years. That's why a lot of people drop out, because they say, whoa, I'm not making any money. Well, you're not making any money because you don't know how to promote yourself, your product, your podcast, or whatever you have going on for your home business. And of course, the most important thing is to get paid. If you're going to do something that requires time, sacrifice, you need to get paid for it. I mean, why would you do something totally for free? This is not a hobby for me, even though I love to do what I do, so it looks like a hobby. That's why I believe a lot of people in my home don't understand what I do, because I'm so into it, because it's not like a job for me at all. It's something I love to do, I love to speak. I love to talk to people. I love to engage the audience, and I like to see people succeed. And I actually like them to be more successful than I am, and that will prove to me that what I do and what I teach and what I show you works. You know, and then you get the testimonials, and all that good stuff, which is coming soon. When people are not bashful enough, or a lot of people have pride and be like, I'm not going to tell Sam that I learned something off his podcast and I started making money. So a lot of people are like that. I don't know why. I'm not like that. If I learn something from somebody else, I'll shout them out. I'll let them know that, hey, your course or your webinar or your video really helped me out. I'll put it right there in the comments for everybody to see. I'm not ashamed to show people that they helped me. So here's my quick introduction. If you don't know who I am by now, I'm Mr. Sam Lopez, and I'm an entrepreneur, recruiter, rideshare pro. Rideshare pro, a lot of people ask me, what's a rideshare pro? Rideshare pro means that I'm diamond and platinum status on the Uber and Lyft. And I've been doing it before they started making all the changes, but I'm not going to get into all of that. But I'm happy with it. I do it like 4-5 hours tops at night. And that's my immediate cash flow to keep all my other businesses sustained. So it's immediate cash flow, and I make a number. And if I need to make 100, 200 a day, then I go to the areas that I know that are busy and make 100, 200 a day in 4 or 5 hours tops. And it's really 6 hours sometimes, because on the way back, maybe I might be an hour away from my home or a half hour away. So, I always put that as time too. And I have an app that works in the background. And later on, when I start going through my Rideshare Pro tactics and tips and tricks for you to make over 40 grand part-time, that's like 25 to 30 hours a week part-time, you'll be making over 40K if you follow my, tips and tricks and tactics. But that's later on in the year. I'm not going to deal with that. I'm just going to be dealing with entrepreneur side of things with the home business. So I got my first paying job at 13 years old, and people say, you're lying. Well, I'm a 70s baby. So I was born in the 70s. So we had this thing called summer jobs, and you got your working papers at 13 at that time. I guess it's 15, 16 years now. I don't know what it is. But I got my first paying job on a summer job at 13 years old. And so since my teens, I found ways to make extra income independently. I always saw other people doing it, and I wanted to do it. Of course, the way I saw people do business independently, some of it was legal, some of it was illegal. But for the most part, I was looking at storefronts, bodegas in the neighborhood, and I was always intrigued by that. So I wanted to see how I could make income doing other things outside of work. And I always had that in my mind since I was a teenager. So it took me about 30 years to finally get 100% independent home business boss. And now I could say I did what I always said I would do. You never want to live your whole life saying, wow, what if? What if I would have took that risk? What if I would have followed my dream? What if I would have followed my passion? You don't want to live that type of life. And you don't want to wait 30 years like I waited. Ever since I was a teenager, I always knew that I was supposed to be doing something on my own. But it takes courage to leave what everybody has been telling you all your life. Oh, you got to go to school, get a good education, go to college, and get a good job. 97% of us have heard that, and that's really not completely wrong. It doesn't sound wrong, right? It doesn't sound bad, but that's why there's only 3% of the population that are millionaires, because the 3% were told otherwise, and they were, driven, and they had a thrive in them. They always knew what I knew when I was a teenager, but they actually took the risk early in life. So don't be a 30-year waiter like me, a procrastinator, or somebody who didn't have enough courage to finally, go 100% independent. All right? Don't do that. And that's why I'm passionate about what I do. I don't want you to wait that long. You shouldn't wait that long at all. If you have a passion, follow it, go for it. If you're a dreamer, dream your dream and connect with other dreamers like me and people out there that are dreamers. But let's get it done this year, okay? Now, I share ways for you to do the same and make more money and get free from the 9 to 5 trap. And I'm calling it a trap for a reason. The 9 to 5 is what I call pyramid scheme. A lot of people call it online marketing or multi-level marketing pyramid schemes, but it's really the job force. There's always a CEO, right? A big boss over another boss over another boss, and managers, and then from managers, supervisors to the workers to the people that are waiting to get in. Who's making the CEO money at the ground level? Nobody. So if you look at it, CEO is always on the top. Then it spreads out to the management. Then it spreads out to supervision. Then it spreads out to the workers. And then it spreads out to the people that are trying to get in. So if you really look at it in your mind, that is a pyramid. Multi-level marketing is totally legit, right? Number one. And number two, online, marketing is 100% legit. There's a lot of scammers out there, but I'm not one of them. In other words, they will never show their face. They will only put products out there, courses out there, just with voice or whatever. But if you were here with me earlier, and at the end I'm going to show my face, this is really me on the picture. And yeah, so it's really me. So I'm going to share that ways for you to make more money than the 9 to 5 and to get you out of that 9 to 5 trap. Now, if you, don't get me wrong, if you work for somebody else, I'm not saying that, it's creepy or you're wrong or anything like that. I'm just saying that if you work for somebody else, don't expect to break the financial glass ceiling over your life. They always got to cap you out a certain level. So make sure if you want to be a millionaire, if you want to be, into a 6-digit income, you're not going to get that unless you have a good job and you like to, do 50, 60 hours a week and you chase after that money. You can be, some people are built that way, workaholics, but I don't think that's healthy. And I don't know how much time you will have with your family if you're doing 60, 70 hours a week. And I don't think it's an even trade or a fair trade for you to work all those hours. You might be making, 6 digits, but if you look at your life, it's going to fly by like time is flying right now. And, I don't think it's worth it. But when you have a home business and you develop it the right way and you start making, triple digits and into the millions and all that good stuff, you're going to realize, man, I did that. And I saw my family, I saw my wife, saw my husband if you're a woman. And, it's a greater feeling. And it's a feeling of satisfaction that you have done what you had the passion to do. And now, you're making money for it. So my goal is to help you find your true worth and value living the home business boss life, because you will be living the home business boss life if you follow me. So I'm going to teach you how to place other people's interests first as we learn how to succeed from home. And that's what it is, man. It's right there. It's to succeed from home. So first, let's define your passion. So you're going to have to think about this. You take a piece of paper down right now or a notepad on your phone or mobile device, and you're going to match your passion to a product that benefits people's needs. So for instance, I love to do music. I'm a producer and I do, some rap music. My wife sings and I do beats and produce. And I've been doing that since I was a teenager. I'm also a mobile DJ professionally and I do all that. But I could take my passion and I could turn it into a product that benefits other people. In other words, when I do my mobile DJ, I'm benefiting other people because I don't charge an arm and a leg, and I do excellent work. I pay my helper, right? And I learned how to turn my passion into a satisfying transaction. In other words, I'm getting booked now, and this is the time of year that I get a lot of bookings for my mobile DJ. And I start scheduling people in, having conference calls with them. And even if they don't hire me, I want them to have the best experience in their event. It could be a wedding, it could be, an anniversary party, a banquet, whatever it is. I actually call them and we have discussion and I give them everything I know about having the best event or the best DJ. And I give them that information out, even if they don't hire me. Why? Because I want them to know that I'm passionate about them and I want to meet their needs and I want to make sure that they get some benefit from connecting with me, even if they don't hire me. So you could learn how to turn your passion into a satisfying transaction. And listen, on the piece of paper you have or whatever you're writing on, it could be a notepad, write down on the left side what you like to do. And on the right side, put a line. Then on the right side, write down what you don't like to do. Now, that's self-explanatory, right? On the left side, you can start writing, well, I like to, read books. I like to, speak. I like to, play sports. All this stuff on the left side, all that stuff, write that down, right? Do that first. And then on the right side, that's the left side. On the right side, write down all the things that you don't like to do. And, just start with 3 things that you like to do and start with 3 things that you don't like to do. And evidently, you're going to notice that if you're working or you're trying to do something that's on the right side of the paper, things you don't like to do, and then you're not using your passion. So how you define your passion? You write it down. What you like to do, what you're passionate about. And let me give you a quick tip, or, it's not really a tip, it's an observation of life. Normally, what you don't like, it could be, you don't like politics, or it could be, like a way your boss operates the organization, and it bothers you. Whatever bothers you is usually on your passion, and you can turn that into things you like to do. For instance, I don't like banks, right? Because of all the fees and the auto fees that you get every month. I don't like banks. So what I started doing was looking for other types of banks that would suit my need and benefit me as a home business entrepreneur, internet entrepreneur, online marketer, affiliate marketer, and rideshare pro. So thank goodness they started coming out with these online bank accounts that don't charge any fees. They don't allow any overdrafts. So if the money's not there, you won't get any overdraft for them paying for it. So I started teaching that and showing people how to do that through something that I'm going to give you later on. So that's how you define your passion. I hope you're following me. If you're not, you can write it in the comments if I'm going too fast or anything. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, just write it right there in the comments and I'll see it and I'll address it. Now, next is a little bit like businessy terms, right? Identifying your market, because if you don't know who your target is, you'll miss every time. If you aim at nothing, you will hit it every time. You will hit nothing. So look at your friends and look at your family base. Now, I'm not telling you to be in the NFL and roll out everything that I'm saying or everything that somebody else told you, or a new business opportunity, or, work with me or join my team, and then you're telling it to all your friends and family every single time. If I would have did that, I would have been in the NFL. No friends left or no family left. They would have been like, okay, every time they would have seen me coming, they would have been like, yeah, I'm not, and we're out of here, because now he's going to offer me something or tell me about a business or whatever. I don't know if my family gets offended, but I really don't tell them a lot about my business when it comes to online marketing, all that stuff, because I don't want them to think I'm trying to lure them into something. Because if it doesn't work for them, then guess who they're going to blame? Me. So you have to identify your market. Look at your friends and family base. You got to realize who are your current customers. You have customers whether you're in business or not. And when I say customers, I'm always doing social media marketing. So your friends and your followers are eventually can become your clients, your prospects, your paying customers. And why would they buy from you? Why would they follow you? Why would they even trust you? Right? These are the questions we have to answer and be honest with ourselves, so that way we can identify our market. So we're going to be looking for common characteristics, people that have common characteristics with you, they have common interests, and you're going to realize which one brings you the most business, right? Or which one brings you the most following, or which one brings you the most engagement, especially on social media. I'm on social media right now. I'm on the second largest search engine in the whole entire world, which is YouTube. Number 1 is Google. So you have to use what's out there to engage those people. All right. So it's very likely that other people like them could also benefit from your product or your service, right? Or your webinar or your online course or whatever you're passionate about. It's very possible, very likely that other people like you could benefit. In other words, somebody could be doing exactly what you do or exactly what I'm doing, podcasting, all that stuff. And people say, yeah, this, the online thing, and I heard this a lot. Online is always oversaturated. Really? How could you oversaturate an industry that has people visiting websites and podcasts and webinars by the billions? And I'm only one person that could reach hundreds of thousands. You know what I mean? Do the math. This internet marketing and internet entrepreneurship, home business model will never be oversaturated. Why? Because too many lazy people out there that are going to fail and they're never going to succeed and they're going to drop off. So only the 3% of the people are actually going to make money online because they're going to stick to it. They're going to follow the plan. They're going to follow people that are making money, and they're going to follow proven systems and implement proven systems into their business model. And that's why it's never going to be oversaturated, because a lot of people are too lazy. They want to get rich quick, and they're following false gurus and phony, scammy people that are saying and promising them all this money every month for doing really nothing. Copy and paste, then rinse and repeat. If you hear that a lot, beware, because a lot of those guys and women are really scammers. So check out your competition, and don't be afraid to check out your competition. In this industry, you have to be humble. I check out the people I follow all the time and to see what they're doing and implement that in my marketing and my email list and all that stuff. I don't copy and paste, exactly what they're doing, because I have my own personality. I have my own style of reaching people, but I see the framework that they use, and I use it. It's because your competitors see who they're targeting, who are their current customers, and don't go after the same market, believe it or not, because you might find a niche market that they are overlooking. 90% of people that I follow are overlooking something, and they're doing something very similar to what we do and what I do from home, but they're just overlooking something. No big deal, but that could actually be your break. Okay, this is launching a product, and I put it in the email, launching a podcast, but let's stick with launching a product right here on this mini course that I'm doing, right? So launching a product, benefits are values customers get from your product. And a lot of, big mistake a lot of new people that are doing this home business make is they like to talk about products. Believe it or not, people don't want to talk about products. They really want to talk about what's going to benefit them, what's going to help them. And if you have a product in mind, let's start talking about the benefits first. So you prep for failure. A lot of people are not going to tell you this. I'm telling you right now, a lot of people are not going to tell you this. You prep for failure. It should not come as a surprise that launches don't always go as planned. And I was just listening to a podcast from one of my favorite podcasters, right? And he was saying he rolled something out last year and it totally flopped. He said it right down his podcast. He admitted it. And on his website, he shows you, his income. And I think that's real transparent, it's honest, and that's why he's doing really good in the industry. So a lot of launches always don't go as planned. However, unveiling a new product or feature that is not well received should not be something that sends you into a panic. While clearly not an ideal situation, failed product launches can be planned for and even may be useful for moving forward. You learn from failure. Listen, if you're not failing, that means you're not trying. And if you're not trying, you're not doing anything. And if you're not doing anything, you're not making any money. And then you're going to do a YouTube video about why this is a scam, why that's a scam, because you failed at it. It's amazing. Productivity, creating a plan will evolve around predicting all potential outcomes associated with the launch. In other words, you have to be realistic when you're rolling something out. And this plan, in essence, is your roadmap for worst case scenarios and will include creating a strategy for negative feedback, having an action plan ready in place for what to do if one or multiple areas fail, right? It will help you soften the blow of a poor initial response. And I don't go by numbers too much when it comes to like what I'm doing right now. If 0 people show up or 100 people show up or 5,000 people show up, I'm going to launch whatever I'm launching like if 10,000 or 10 million people are already getting it. Because it shows when I hear somebody that's passionate, it was showing their voice, it was showing their demeanor and their character and their podcast, the way they operate their home business and all that. It just shows. And that's really attractive. And it's like a magnet for success. And of course, the third one is process to promotion. The end result of any, listen to this, of any new product or feature is to improve the lives of customers. Earlier I said we need to learn how to put others' interests before our own. So do you utilize different methods to launch products? You can let me know, and I want to hear from you. Because if you're not utilizing different methods and you're doing the same thing over and over again and it's getting like no results, and then you might have to check up from the neck up, because you might be insane doing the same thing over and over again, no results, and expecting a different result. So knowing your target, and I'm going to just go real quick by this. 42% on the left side of entrepreneurs identify their market through psychographic variables. And that's a big word, but it just means attitudes, beliefs, and emotions. They know, 42% of entrepreneurs, they identify the market through that. What people believe and all that stuff. But 58% of entrepreneurs identify their market through behavioristic variables. Another big word, but it just means readiness to purchase, attitude, and loyalty. And you could use both of these sides and be successful, very successful. I've seen people make millions in that type of model. And this is when you promote your product. You see a little promo code, the guy holding the phone with the promo code, right? Messages are important in shaping a customer's purchasing method decision. So create and send out an effective marketing message. Now, when I sent out a massive email about this mini course, it was really thought out. I sent the email with all the information, and I even slipped and gave a bonus in the email. I don't know if they noticed that, but there's a bonus in the email as well. And I sent it out knowing that people will be looking at it, opening up the emails and responding. Define and stick to your market positioning. Don't jump from, whatever shines over here, whatever shines, but don't jump around too much, because that's how you lose when you're promoting your product. If you're promoting something, work at that promotion. Don't just put something out online and expect thousands of people to buy it and then move on to something else. You will lose your followers like that, and you will lose customers, and you will lose potential team members by doing that as well. And lastly, know your brand inside and out. That's why it takes me about 90 days before I roll something out to you. I really test it out myself. If if it's a new product or a new service or a system, I try it out for at least 90 days. If I can't figure it out or I can't make any money in the 90 days, you will never hear me talk about it. It could be my fault totally, but it doesn't matter, because I want to do it first to make sure it works before I even roll it out to you, because I don't want to be blamed for people flopping at what they're doing, right? This is a quote from Tom Fishburne. He says, the best marketing doesn't feel like marketing. The best marketing doesn't feel like marketing because you have a passion for it. And if you have a passion for it and you know what you're doing, it will really help people out. And you won't, be tricked or duped by anybody else saying that you're doing it wrong or this works and that works, and it's really nonsense. Promoting your product, put your product out there in the market. Put it out there. Put it out there. I don't understand how you're the best kept secret on the whole internet, and you're saying you're making millions of dollars a year, but you're not putting or promoting any of your products. Video marketing, if you don't know by now, is key. And I have to force myself to put myself in front of a camera. I'd rather be a talking voice than a talking head on the camera. So 51% of marketing professionals worldwide Name video as the type of content with the best return on investment, ROI. Websites, according to Pew Research, 26% of US adults are almost always online. That grows, is going to grow, is going to grow and grow. They're part of the 77% of US adults who go online daily. I go on the internet daily, not because I run a home business online. It's because even before that, I would go online daily. And the phones, forget it. Social and mobile marketing, 80% of the internet users own a smartphone. So this oversaturation thing that people are talking about is a whole bunch of nonsense, because there's no way I'm going to meet the needs of 80% of all internet users that use a smartphone. My product is not going to be the solve all, and your product is not going to be a solve all either. That's why people are developing products upon products upon products, services upon services, and systems that work using the same amount of people that are out there. It's never going to be oversaturated. Never, ever going to be oversaturated unless population decreases and we start getting run by robots. You know, that's my sci-fi background coming in on this, right? Launching a product, timeline for successful introduction. Listen, you have to have some kind of timeline, some kind of plan. If you don't plan to succeed, you're basically planning to fail. So free training on the podcast, I'll be offering that. If you follow me, you'll get these about messaging and positioning. Start building market anticipation. In other words, my email was in anticipation for this podcast, for this mini course, right? And check in with market affiliates. Always see who the gurus out there, the real guys out there. Check them out. Check out the ladies and the guys that are doing it, and check in with the market affiliates and set up a product storefront. A lot of people hate Shopify type business models, but guess what? If you do it the right way, you could kill it with Shopify type models for business online. So don't be afraid of that either. A lot of people are saying this doesn't work, that don't work, and then they offer you something that they said does work, and it's pretty much the same thing. It's so funny. Get paid just for sharing this guide. I'll get to that in a minute, but on the top right, you see what's the average pay for a beginner. Listen, if I haven't been asked this question, hey Sam, you make any money doing what you do? And how much do you make, and how much can I make? First of all, I'm not going to tell you how much I make. And let me tell you why. Because I've seen a lot of people put and flaunt all their cash on the screen and saying I make $6,000 a week, using this 3-step method and all that stuff. That's telling people that you could do the same thing. It's false advertisement. It's false hope, and it's pretty much lying, and it's bait and switch. Because they're going to be like, if I could do it, you could do it, which is true. You know what I mean? But putting up numbers and saying numbers, I think it's a false representation of actually what you can actually do, or what I could actually do, because I don't know how many hours they're putting in on it. I don't know if they're really doing this stuff 4 hours a day. I don't know their lifestyle for real. All I see is the images and videos and hear the podcast. So I'm not going to tell you how much I make. All I'm going to tell you is that I haven't worked for somebody else close to 5 years. So that should be an indication of that what I'm doing is sustainable, it works. And if it doesn't, then I want to have the equipment, the internet, lights on in my house, cars, paying bills. I want to be able to do it because I would have no money, obviously. So what's the average pay for a beginner? So getting an accurate estimate is impossible. So if anybody tells you you can make this every week or every month without any type of formula, or without showing you the numbers to get that to that place, then they're lying. And that's actually the best thing about this. You shouldn't aim for an average income online, first of all. If you master affiliate marketing techniques, you can easily make up to 6 figures your first couple of years. I'm involved in a team that has a 5-year rollout plan. And after the 5 years, they're telling you and telling me, and I've seen proof and evidence, and I'm actually working with a couple of people that are actually making this type of money, but it's a 5-year process. And I like it because it's not a get quick, rich. I always get that wrong. Get rich, quick scheme or scam. It's actually a plan. It's a 5-year plan that they developed. And, I know 5 years seems like a long time, but hey, in the meantime, I'm doing this anyway. So, it doesn't hurt. Get paid for sharing this guide. To give you that rush that I felt when I got my first commission payment online, and it only took me like 20 minutes of worth of work. Man, I was on fire. I was like, I don't even remember what I did to get the first commission. And wow. So if you share this guide with at least, or this video with at least 5 people, and I'll send you $5 just for helping me help others create wealth from home, like straight up. And yeah, I'm going to leave that all in the details, because you're going to be surprised how many people would feel the rush of just receiving money online for doing practically nothing. You're on social media anyway. All you have to do is share this and you get paid $5. Let me ask you a question. Who or when have you ever got free money just for sharing a post or a video? I mean, some people do it full time from home online. Some people really do it, and that's how they make a living. They share other people's information and they get paid for it. That's just a quick little tip, little insider. That means you get your wheels turning in your head, because people actually really do this. This is how you do it, because it's part of these 3 steps that I do: announce, I listen, and engage. If you click on the phone, but it's not going to be on the phone because this is a video. But when I send you this guide, right, you're going to click on the guide and you have the whole guide. You can download it to any mobile device, your desktop, any computer, your phone, and that's right there is going to be the bonus link. And you're going to click on that link and you're going to share this, right? And this is a trust thing. I'm not going to know whether or not you're sharing or not, but I'm still going to give you your $5. Your first $5 commission you will get this week. Quick, it's easy, it takes about 2 minutes of your time. If any mathematicians out there, they're going to be like, well, let's do the math. $5 for 2 minutes. Yeah, do the math. $5 every 2 minutes. $5 every 2 minutes. $5 every 2 minutes. And then you put that in an 8-hour workday. This little $5 is going to turn into a lot of money. And you're going to be like, how come I haven't thought about that before? You can find me on social media. Let me go back here. Of course, I'm on the Facebook at Mr. San Lopez. Please subscribe today to this channel so you could not miss anything that I'm doing live or in the future. Or 90% of my bonuses for the Team Good Life will be on this channel, and everybody else will just get, the remainder on the Facebook and also on the Instagram. So connect on Instagram, connect on this channel right here, subscribe, and make sure you follow me on Facebook, which I have a pretty big following on Facebook. So thank you for taking action today. You took action. You actually hung out with me for this mini course, and it took a little longer than what I thought it would take, but it's all good. You got a lot of information. So thank you for taking action. I'm going to see you next time on the podcast, and it'll be up tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Every Wednesday, you'll get an audio version of a podcast with some tips, tactics, systems, and it's not going to be salesy or anything like that. I want you to feel at home, because guess what? When you operate your business from home, you literally are home. So it's Mr. San Lopez podcast. Thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, the rest of your weekend, and check me out. Let me switch back so that way I'm really here. I'm really here. You see that? And my daughter's here, but she's right next to me. You can't see in the camera. But I got to run and do some other things. But I just want to make sure you came to this mini seminar. You see our little hair there in the screen now. Okay. So I'm out of here. Take care. God bless you. God keep you. And remember, God is good. Peace. Peace out.